When dealing with a difficult problem, it can be challenging to identify the source of the issues and understand why they are happening. This is often because in real world scenarios involving people and complex systems, problems are seldom the result of a single root cause. Much like a tree with many branching roots under the surface, each issue is interconnected, with various factors feeding into one another, making it difficult to pinpoint one simple explanation. Solving these challenges demands a holistic approach where each branch is examined and the underlying connections are carefully untangled. In many cases, teams may find that they need a more robust approach to finding possible root causes. One approach is using a fishbone tool, also known as an Ishikawa or cause and effect diagram. This tool helps to guide and document a brainstorming session around root reasons or causes to a problem. It is a structured tool for thinking through multiple areas that are part of the process or system. A fishbone diagram helps to break down complex issues into smaller, manageable components by visualizing the relationships between a problem and its multiple potential causes. Let's discuss an example. Your hospital team has noticed an increase in medication errors affecting patient safety. You decide to create a fishbone diagram to visualize the process. You start by drawing a horizontal arrow pointing towards an empty circle. In the empty circle, your team writes a statement that describes the problem to focus on. The problem is that there is an increase in medication errors. Next, you will start to list common issues. One approach is to brainstorm a list of issues and then determine which categories they best fit within. Another approach is to select some initial categories that might be related to the problem and use those categories to start to brainstorm. When brainstorming, it can be helpful to look at the existing literature. Some commonly used categories include methods, equipment, people, materials, communication, the environment, and many more. The categories will vary depending on the context in which the problem exists, and you can add more categories if needed. Often, you will see this tool with 6 categories, but sometimes there could be less or more depending on the situation. Once your team has chosen the categories, those become branches off the horizontal line. Your team decides on the following categories: people, medications, environment, management. Next, your team brainstorms the possible causes of the problem by asking, why does this happen? The 5 whys exercise may help your team brainstorm at this stage. As your team begins determining possible causes, you place them in the category they are most related to. It is quite common for a cause to belong to multiple categories, so it's okay if a cause is written in multiple groupings. Your team lists the following causes. For people, staff fatigue, lack of knowledge on new systems. For medications, drug names that look and sound alike, mislabeled drugs. This process of listing causes would continue for each category. Now that you have written down several causes, your team asks, why do these causes happen? And draw branches from each initial cause to represent these new causes. Your team repeats this process until no new ideas are generated. Now that your team has completed this step, you analyze these causes and offer possible solutions. It can be especially important and helpful to look to the literature during this stage. Using the fishbone diagram, your team was able to identify key factors contributing to the complex problem of medication errors. This visual exercise gives teams a robust, structured approach to better understanding the organization's processes and the problems within them that lead to inefficiencies.